side of Ice Ukraine in the red.
He did not.
Player from South Korea, representing Clan Dick Boy. Yes, from Dragon Phoenix Gaming. He invited me to Clan Dick Boy. It's PartinG.
We're gonna get put off the air. Do you see his doodad next to his Nexus? We
so much greater.
We're 100% gonna get censored. DreamHack is gonna call us and be like, "Hey guys, you can't laugh at PartinG anymore." Not only, I don't know if you know this, not only is his clan name moderately distasteful, but his team name, Dragon Phoenix Gaming, is actually also a bit of a sexual pun. I don't know if you knew this. Have you heard this, Grant?
Right.
Yeah. So DPG. Apparently, somehow, when you translate it to Chinese, DPG just means like girls with large butts.
It's okay.
Yeah, I think it's a little more graphic than that.
It's all about that face.
It's like slang for a little bit of a bottom heavy gal, which we can all appreciate. But it's nice to see a player with dual sexual puns in their name in the year 2020.
So far in this game, we have PartinG starting pretty standard. He's going to get an Adept to chase off the Reaper that will be moving across the map shortly. It is just finished up and will be coming down from that south side at 3 o'clock position right now. Actually, right now, HeRoMaRinE instead, who we haven't spoke about too much. Big Gabe is in some of the best form of his life. As you look at the beautiful Esl Pro Tour logo.
I was just making sure I had it on this game.
Oh, beautiful, you do. Gabe he's been playing incredibly. He feels very happy with his play. He didn't get the best results in DreamHack Summer EU finals, but I know Gabe is ready now to bring it. Now both these guys are playing with a slight ping disadvantage, but that is what I expected to see already from PartinG, and that is a Twilight Council. I wouldn't be surprised to see a few more gateways pretty soon and Blink starting up, because PartinG loves 4-gate Blink. He loves it off of 2 bases to be very, very aggressive. He may even get a Prism and start harassing the main. Let's keep an eye. He may play standard in game 1, but there goes that Robo.
Yep, exactly correct. That Robo going down a little bit later than standard, I think. Usually you want that down, or not standard, but a little bit later in this build than you see in some other builds. But I think you're right here. We probably should see Blink popping out quite soon. PartinG, of course, a master of this Blink play. There is, of course, a slight lag disadvantage playing on the North American server when you've got a European facing a Korean at an online event. But if any player can pull it off, it is going to be PartinG. I am so excited to see how many gates he drops down, and so far, only 2 more for a total of 3 gates. You're not going to get your 4-gate wish quite yet.
There it is.
There it is. There it is.
Yeah, so this is PartinG's build all over. He is the best at this. And now, as you said, he is playing with a slight ping disadvantage, but he's still PartinG. He's absolutely, arguably, a top 3 Protoss in the world. We do have actually a couple of Hellions getting in. They do get surrounded immediately by the probes. They get bounced away. And a nice defense there from PartinG. I don't think he lost any, did he? He lost 1, okay. At some point in the game. But everything is pretty good right now for PartinG, and he will be getting that Prism. The gates are finishing, and expect to see a lot of Stalkers. Now, what is Gabe's defense? He's getting a Liberator that will be for the other side of the map. He's getting tanks. Tanks are essential, but they have to be in a good position. Right now, he only has 8 Marines. We're going to see 4 Stalkers walked in at a time. Any moment.
Yeah, this is a bit of a nerve-wracking position for HeRoMaRinE, and if he drops... Okay, he is dropping his other barracks here, so barracks 2 and 3 going down soon. Their production will be ramped up by the time this push gets... or will be started by the time this push gets here. But already, PartinG moving across the map here, and HeRoMaRinE might be caught in a very awkward position. If he tries to add add-ons to these barracks before cranking out Marines, he's going to have invested a lot of money in infrastructure that he simply can't afford. That SCV scout going to be huge, though. HeRoMaRinE sees that Prism coming.
Yeah, now Gabe knows exactly what he's playing against. He'll have Marines and tanks in a good position. This is what he needs to do. Keep Marines close to the tanks so the tanks can't be sniped. The tanks are the most important part of defending against Blink Stalkers because they just do so much DPS once the Blink has already go down. Now, looking at the supply, we're looking at 10 Stalkers, 12 Marines, 2 tanks, and here comes the big boy. He blinks in with 1, he blinks in with all of them. Immediately going to go and try and get on top of these tanks. 2 tanks here right now, actually. This defense from Gabe so far, phenomenal. We can see a few workers go down at the other side of the map as well to the Liberator. PartinG continuing to try and find some damage here. He's going to keep blinking around, look for workers. He has enough. He was forced to stop mining for a while. PartinG is going to find a good amount of damage. Oh, he gets surrounded by the SCVs. Gabe. Okay, finally the blink comes in, but there's no blink out now. And that means every Stalker will go down. Gabe, what did you have in your cereal? Because that is the best defense you could ask for from the German. Talon player.
You know, I was worried when I saw that Warp Prism coming across the map. I thought that HeRoMaRinE might not be able to hold there, but that second tank popping out at a crucial moment, the bunker barely finishing. A bit of a mistake, by the way, from PartinG not to focus fire down the SCV building that bunker, because the bunker very, very helpful in zoning out these stalkers. And now we see HeRoMaRinE in a pretty solid position. He's got great infrastructure. He was forced to supply drop a little bit, maybe make some changes to his build that he didn't necessarily want to make, but he's on 3 racks. He's got that factory going. As soon as he's not supply blocked anymore, he'll be in great shape. There we go. The supply block broken, but PartinG setting up for another big attack here, Grant.
Yeah, behind this PartinG has no third base. He has not okay, he is attacking. He is getting his robotics base, so he can start moving into most likely disruptor play, I would imagine, because it's PartinG. He'll be doing something wild. Maybe even drops with the disruptors. We can see a couple of stalkers going to move in and try and drop into the main. HeRoMaRinE's defense, though, is solid. Now, Gabe hasn't added on a third CC just yet. Gabe knows he has to defend the onslaught from his #1 PartinG as the game continues. You can see now, it's going to be Colossus and Zealot legs. Okay, so PartinG moving into a standard mid-game. He is throwing down his third base as well. Scan from HeRoMaRinE at the other side of the map just shows the natural. Nothing massive here. Stim finishing up soon. I wouldn't be surprised to see Gabe break this contain and push hard.
Yeah, you know, I'll be actually a little surprised. There it is. The third base now coming down the main base. I'd be surprised if he just pushes on 2 bases. That's not really what you want to be going for. But he is going to go ahead and push while the third base is coming down behind this. I love how cautious HeRoMaRinE is being this game. Now, exactly what PartinG's doing exactly what he needs to do, right? Which is be annoying with these Blink Stalkers. He's going to drop in the main base here. It looks like the Zealots are going to get cleaned out. There are some Marines here, but they shouldn't get too much damage done. HeRoMaRinE responding really well here. 8 SCVs go down, and that means that HeRoMaRinE's going to be forced to push here, maybe more aggressively than he would have liked. He's going to have to commit to this attack a little bit harder than I think he wanted to initially, Grant.
Yeah, and HeRoMaRinE right now, he really does need to make something happen. He has +1. He is down in workers by 6, but his army supply is substantial. How many Colossus are currently out? Only 1. Okay, this is very, very doable here with only 1 Colossus out. This is going to need to be a good defense from PartinG. The third is going to get cancelled. No chance that survives. Oh my god, no more warpings for PartinG as he's very supply blocked now at 102 out of 86. Only 1 Colossus and charge zealots here, but the tanks are going to zone. Is extended thermal lance done? No, it's only 8/10 of the way done. And PartinG in a bit of trouble right now. Gabe defended valiantly, and now Gabe is looking to get some damage done. Splits off some units into the natural.
Yeah, now PartinG does still have the Warp Prism here. Second Colossus is out, which means he can juggle that Colossus for as long as he can. He depowers +1, and this is actually a really nice +1 timing from HeRoMaRinE. He's able to get into that natural base, and with the tanks a little too far back, he's just saving those tanks from the Colossus, but he can lose a lot of bio in the front here. There we go, secondary bio coming forward. Blink from PartinG on top of the tanks. 1 tank down, 2 tanks down. Zealots on top of the bio as well. I think PartinG's gonna break this contain. HeRoMaRinE did stop the third, but maybe overstaying his welcome with that natural a little bit. Ooh, man, he's still moving units into the middle of the map, though. Wow.
And Gabe's still no third base. He hasn't even begun it. Oh, yes, he does have it. He does have... No, he doesn't.
Yeah, it's finished.
No, I'm wrong. Yeah, it's finished. Okay, so Gabe does have a third base. So this is the end of the world right now. He needs to maybe try and get one of these Colossus. That would be very nice. You can see there is a Viking joining the fray. This Colossus will be juggled here. PartinG not messing around. The ping not a problem for the big boy. He's trying to save them all and does a good job. The game's still pretty good. +1 has been unpowered for PartinG for a long time. It's now getting going again. It's only 1/3 of the way done. And we can see Gabe he's come all the way home. So we're going to be moving in now to a mid-game crate, or even longer possibly.
Yeah, surely at least a mid-game here, as the third base is established for both players. Now, HeRoMaRinE is on pretty good worker supply, and the income actually going to be in his favor just a little bit as the game continues, feeling comfortable now to drop all of those mules onto the natural, get the third base established, and rotate some of his SCVs down. His income going to be a little bit more sustainable as PartinG's third base is just now finishing up. And that means that PartinG's going to have to be forced to be a little more aggressive. I do worry a bit for PartinG, though, because while his army supply does look decent at 37, look at how low these Colossus are. Look at his disruptor count. He's only on 1. That Warp Prism, only 1 Warp Prism, right? He's producing out of, I believe, just 1 Robo right now. He doesn't even have double Robo, which means if this army goes down, and it could collapse very quickly, HeRoMaRinE will be in a really strong position to just push on forward and close out the game from there. But right now, both players sitting back, teching up, and working on those upgrades. PartinG is repowered as +1. HeRoMaRinE should be getting that armory down soon to get +2/+2 on the way.
Yeah, and PartinG's got very good vision. He's had an observer outside of HeRoMaRinE's third for the entirety of the game. And he is getting Storm, he's getting High Templars, he's getting Warp Prism speed, so we're going to see some real fun drops coming in here. More gateways being added. PartinG is in the lull right now, but what he's doing is he's moving forward aggressively to keep his opponent back. He knows that he probably can't win a straight-up fight, so he'll never take one. but he will keep him busy. Big, oh my god, Purification Nova huge. Okay, I lied. He can take a big fight because that Purification Nova just trimmed off a huge amount of HeRoMaRiNE's army supply. And HeRoMaRiNE right now needs to concentrate on defending because PartinG, he's getting strong. He's getting a 4. He's got a 4.
Yeah, his 4th finished up here, and that means that HeRoMaRiNE is playing a bit, you know what, earlier I said I like that HeRoMaRiNE's playing cautious, right? He's staying back, he's making sure he's got a 3rd before he pushes, and now at this point we can say he might be playing a little too cautious. I think he's still in a very strong position this game, still ahead on workers, still ahead on income, still ahead on army supply, the upgrade's still in his favor, and he is teching up now to ghosts. He's got that advanced shockwaves coming from his Ghost Academy. Little drop here from PartinG, maybe able to disrupt him a bit though.
Yeah, this is what PartinG wants right now, is to be the disruptor, to be the frustrator in this series whilst he's getting his upgrades, whilst he's adding in disruptors, high tempos and storm, and everything a Protoss could possibly dream of. Right now it's Christmas for PartinG, and unfortunately, the only gifts he bought are gifts of dead units for HeRoMaRiNE. So he's continuing right now. You can see the Zealot count getting very high. We're already up to 15 charge Zealots. No more Colossus being produced is quite nice here. How many Vikings does Gabe have? 6. Okay, so they're going to be, that's an okay amount because Gabe didn't overcommit. But we're going to come down to a big fight here, and EMPs will tell the story.
And there's only the 1 ghost out right now with this army for HeRoMaRiNE. He's got 3 on the field, the other 2 are coming here. Big storms onto the Vikings, but that's really not the main concern right now of PartinG. The Vikings, in fact, going to even land for just a moment. We are going to see the Scouting Phoenix try and see what the entire army of HeRoMaRiNE looks like. But HeRoMaRiNE going to pack up and continue to push here onto the 4th base of PartinG. PartinG slightly out of position here. He will have shield battery overcharge, but his army's got to rotate around first and foremost, and that's going to give HeRoMaRiNE time to siege up his tanks here, Grant. Oh, a big storm.
And the Ghost right now is out in the front. That Ghost has gone down. Purification never comes out. Doesn't manage to get the connections that it wants. I still like PartinG's position in this. If he commits to a fight, there are no more EMPs. No, there is one, I believe, on that Ghost in the back here. But it is now trapped. It is in trouble. The Zealots wrap around the tanks. Everything goes down here. PartinG says, no, thank you, Gabe. You may be big, but I am bigger, as he charges forward and completely cleans up the army of the German.
Yeah, that was a really nice engagement from PartinG. HeRoMaRiNE was sectioned off, half his army down here on this ramp on the bottom, half his army up here. The big problem right now is that PartinG lost a lot of really clutch units in that fight. If you'll notice, those Vikings took out not just both Colossus. Well, where's his Warp Prism? His Warp Prism was not taken out, but it's still in the top corner of the map, just hidden here, which means he's not able to reinforce with this push directly. That's going to give HeRoMaRiNE a huge defender's advantage. I don't think PartinG can close this game out right now, and he's going to be forced to wait in the middle of the map, maybe draw the Warp Prism over, and try and get some more disruptors out here to make sure he's got enough robo units to support a big push.
But PartinG doesn't need to end the game right now. He's 4 base against 3 base. He's in terms of economy, you can see he's mining much more in terms of minerals. His upgrades are kicking in now. As 2 is about halfway done. It's a little bit behind Gabe, but he will be taking over with chrono boosts and things. PartinG's position right now, he's even adding on a 5th base. He feels so confident. Dark Shrine on the way, so he is about to turn into full annoying, screaming at you, the PartinG that we all love. And I just don't know what Gabe can do right now. He needs more ghosts. How many are we currently looking at? 2 with a 3rd on the way. And it's all going to come down to finding one incredible fight for the Terran player.
Absolutely. Now, HeRoMaRiNE's army supply is still larger than PartinG's. If some good EMPs, he might be able to neutralize this Protoss base. But we see the problem that he's running into right now is that PartinG is up on, 4 disruptors. He's not producing any more right now, but I imagine he'll get a couple more out, and these disruptors can be super annoying. Once you get up to 5 or 6, they're really able to just, continually purification over your opponent, and it makes it very difficult for Terrans to find good positioning. Little Zealot run by the main. Oh my god, he's not going to get a single SCV. Okay, 3 SCVs going to go down. Before those Liberators have cleaned it up. But HeRoMaRiNE moving out in the middle of the map now. Ghosts at full energy, and this is the fight that Big Gabe wants to take.
You do not want to push up a ramp against this many disruptors, though. Disruptors are going to be so important here. One connection with this army ends the fight and possibly the game. These Zealots have stood so strong in the main base here of HeRoMaRiNE, and now it does look like HeRoMaRiNE is going to try and push in here towards the base at the 9 o'clock position. But again, I really do like PartinG's position. Purification Nivers go off. Goodbye.
Huge EMPs.
Take a lot of damage.
Huge EMPs on a PartinG's army that drive him all the way back. He can't engage until these shields come back, and he's just used his shield battery overcharge. This 3rd base is going to drop, but this Warp Prism still causing trouble. DTs and Zealots in the main base of HeRoMaRiNE right now. HeRoMaRiNE has lower economy. He's not going to have any reinforcements. This push is so distressing for HeRoMaRiNE. He's got to be under a lot of pressure right now for this push to work, because he's got to bring units back that he wants to be reinforcing with to take out these Zealots, and the DTs. Continued warp ins from PartinG are being so annoying. This is great play from PartinG.
PartinG's done very well at the other side of the map, but I am concerned about what's going on at home for him. He's not been able to pick off any of these units. He doesn't really have any storms left. His second robo, his first, his robo goes down, big storm comes down. As the bad weather gets pretty devastating here for Gabe. Zealot's now finally coming in. There's a lot of Archons. That's an important piece of tech right now for our Protoss player, because he needs to tank all these tank shots so his Zealots can get the wraparound. Shadow Strider's close. It looks like the fight's coming in. +2 armor is about to finish for Gabe. Reinforcements, catch a High Templar, big push. Oh, some big EMPs, but the top of the Archon still with a good amount of shields. And now Storm comes down on top of this army, but PartinG again forced back, and HeRoMaRinE has a huge army supply advantage.
Yeah, this is a much better position for HeRoMaRinE than I thought it might have been earlier. Sure, he's way back in workers, but his army supply 3x that of PartinG. Not only that, but the storms are landing. The storm energy now completely gone, but the medevac count for HeRoMaRinE still fairly high at 5 medevacs, 3 of them with high energy, which means his tanks in the background, Liberator's trying to defend them, but he's got a couple more units coming across. This is really good from HeRoMaRinE.
Yeah, but I like what PartinG did. He's now taken out the tanks and he's got behind the Liberators, which means he can engage. He can finally find a fight. He's lost a lot of workers, but he still leads by 11. These disruptors, though, he's going to force Gabe home. I have no idea who's winning this game, Creighton. Purification Nova goes off, gets an okay hit, but one of them does go down. He can't be losing units. Neither player can use units. Lose units even. Tongue twister. Finally, it looks like both players will reset. Liberators going down here. Let's take stock of where we are. Supplies almost even. Workers heavily favour PartinG. HeRoMaRinE down in army, up in army even, and upgrades.
Yeah, you know, PartinG did some really good damage here in the natural of HeRoMaRinE, taking out a lot of SCVs, and he did clear out some of the production facilities as well. But the production facilities from HeRoMaRinE still fairly good. We can see his income isn't balling up a whole lot. It's not like he has a lot of empty production facilities. They're all mostly cranking away. His ghost count's completely down to 0 now. Needs to get a couple more ghosts out, and we see him producing those now for those EMPs, which are going to be very clutch later in the game. I honestly think this game has almost equalized a little bit. It's one of those rare occasions where we see both players nuking each other back to the Stone Age. It's that old quote where I know not what World War III, with what weapons World War III will be fought, but I know that World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones. And I feel like we're in the sticks and stones portion now of game number 1 with HeRoMaRinE and PartinG, where they're both, I mean, look at this. PartinG is remaxed on charge lots and stalkers. There's not a single robo unit in his army anymore because he lost all of his disruptors, all of his colossi, and HeRoMaRinE down to just Marine Marauder with a handful of Liberators.
Yeah, the Liberator is very important right now for Gabe, because they do offer a lot of zoning against something PartinG can't really deal with. Even Stalkers right now are so expensive for PartinG, because his main has mined out entirely, his natural is almost out, his, his third and his fourth are doing very, very good. We actually have a Liberator sieged up. Look at the very south, at like 7 o'clock, here we go. He now moves in, it was just sieged up in dead air. It will go down eventually. Which is nice. PartinG doesn't want to take any more damage right now. He does have DTs, but there's a lot of ghosts out on the map.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I love watching, one of the reasons I love watching StarCraft is you can see the players changing their risk assessment on the fly. Earlier in the game, we saw, you know, we were saying, like, okay, HeRoMaRinE has to be aggressive right now. He's got to try and get something done. And now we're reaching a point in the game where both players are becoming incredibly risk averse. It's that late game, low income, low economy situation where neither player really wants to do too much damage too early because they want to make sure they've got an economy behind to sustain. PartinG is going to push in, but he's going to be spooked away by these Liberators from HeRoMaRinE. He cannot afford to take one bad fight because this game could be absolutely crippling. EMP goes down to chase PartinG away, and wow, he's actually in a fight with some of these Blink Stalkers. Just being annoying.
Yeah, just trying to pick off a unit here and there. If you can get a ghost, that's huge as well, because they're so important. Disruptor production has begun here for PartinG. He has Blink on his DTs and his Stalkers, so the entire army moving back and forth. It's showtime's in chat, my man, Tobias Siebel, what's up? I see you there. The game right now is still on knife's edge. Both players looking for that one fight. The Liberators are massive. EMPs are huge.
Those EMPs getting on top of the DTs, actually decloaking a lot of them. The DT count still at 6, though, and that means more scans forced to be used for HeRoMaRinE, who already doesn't have a good economy. And again, HeRoMaRine's going to be forced to pick up and get out here. The mass Blink DTs from PartinG actually way up in value because you've got to either spend an EMP or a scan to take care of them. Of course, they can blink out of those scans right away. So I like PartinG's army composition a lot here. HeRoMaRine's going to defend this third base, and PartinG's actually just going to go for it here. Once again, Grant, pushing into this third base.
And he blinks in with 2 different types of units, and these DTs just do so much DPS. It does look like this time it will be defended. Concussive Shell Marauders doing a lot of damage here to keep the army. And the chase will be good. Finally, the Purification Nova comes out and will push the forces back. And it looks like right now PartinG is going to be forced to turn tail. The game is still so close. There's just no real high-tech units apart from DTs right now for PartinG. Oh, the DTs blinking behind, doing some damage. They will finally be taken out. But look, every swipe kills a unit.
But PartinG's army supply down to 37 right now. He may have overcommitted here. This Warp Prism could get picked off. If the Warp Prism goes down, the Warpin will finish here. The Zealot's going to get in Purification Nova on top of some of these units here. The DT's doing what they can. I'm not sure if there are any scans available here for HeRoMaRinE, though. EMP's trying to get on top of the DTs there, but the DTs are still alive. So many Blink Stalkers. Most of HeRoMaRiNE's army is tied up in these medevacs, though. He's got more medevacs than he has any other unit right now. 11 medevacs, only 9 Marines. PartinG gets pushed away for now, but HeRoMaRiNE has got to start producing more Marines, Marauders, and even some tanks now to try and catch up. And PartinG, you cheeky boy, re-expanding to this 9 o'clock position. Wow.
Yeah, PartinG is continued to trade blows right now with his opponent. He is still down in army supply. Upgrades never went further than 2-2. They've both been stuck at that position for a long time, and PartinG's disruptor count just can't grow. Keeps losing them over and over in these fights. Gabe doing a great job targeting. And honestly, right now, I still have no idea who's winning this game.
This is a fascinating back and forth. The Observer, by the way, the MVP unit right now for PartinG. We haven't pointed him out since the beginning of the game, but he's still been alive. HeRoMaRiNE hasn't been able to waste a scan, or I don't know if he's not spotted it, or if he just hasn't wanted to waste a scan sniping that Observer, but the Observer showing PartinG exactly what's happening. Look at this. We're seeing HeRoMaRiNE move down to the south, but PartinG knows it, and he's able to rotate his army around in the natural, be prepared to defend at this third, fourth base, whatever. I've lost count of which base is which at this point. Double scans from HeRoMaRiNE to make sure the army's there, and he's just going to go for it. I don't know if I like this push from HeRoMaRiNE. It's very dangerous.
Yeah, he's still pushing into disruptors, shield batteries, and cannons. Purification Nova could be important here. The first one completely whiffs, dodged there by HeRoMaRiNE. Lots and lots of Zealots coming in. Army supply does favour the Terran player, but he is pushing into batteries. He's pushing into a super battery, which has been triggered. Blink coming in on all angles. Watch the Protoss army, though. The tanks will disappear, the bio will disappear, and once again, PartinG pushes him back.
Huge clutch storms from PartinG there, Grant. We haven't seen enormous storms from PartinG yet. He's been sort of hit and miss, literally, with his storms all day, but those finally hitting a big clump of tanks, a big clump of bio units. 9 probes do go down, which means the income should be in HeRoMaRiNE's favor a little bit here, but again, we see PartinG's army composition just moderately superior right now with these DTs, and finally one disruptor to zone him out, but HeRoMaRiNE continues to push. Now, HeRoMaRiNE doesn't have the range upgrade for his Liberators yet. He simply hasn't been able to get that fusion core out to make it happen. And oh, mine was at the jeez. Anyway, hasn't been able to get the range upgrade, which means the Liberators not as effective as they could be, but they're still doing massive work in pushing these units back.
Yeah, PartinG falling back to his batteries once again. If it isn't broke, don't fix it. PartinG knows he's in a good position if he can just stay in battery range. He blinks forward right now to take down a lot of the medevacs. Disruption Nova goes in, manages to catch a few units. We have a couple of Zealots in the back right now doing some damage. PartinG's killing a lot of FCVs right now as well. Gabe pulled loads with him. Disruptor comes forward, doesn't manage to fire off a shot yet. It is going to most likely be saved. It looks like maybe PartinG has broken his opponent. Maybe he's broken down. Maybe he's managed to find what he needs in this game. DT's coming in from the back, scanned, and immediately goes down. There's still one though outside of scan range, and swipe, down goes a Marauder. Marines go down, the supply heavily in favor of PartinG, and GG, PartinG takes game 1.
Man, GG indeed. You know, it's funny, Grant, I casted 2 tournaments yesterday, and I think I only had 1 game go over the 15-minute mark. Today, in the DreamHack Masters 2020, absolutely incredible series. Our first series going incredibly long, and our second series starting out with an absolute banger of a game. Now, Grant, I've got to ask you a question, and this has come up before when we co-cast together. You just used the phrase, if it isn't broke, don't fix it. Is that what you say in Britain?
If it's not broke, don't fix it.
If it's not broke.
Or if it isn't broke, yeah.
If it isn't broke.
Both of them, they both work.
You Brits are so weird. The American version of that expression, of course, as I'm sure chat will back me up in a moment here, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
The ain't isn't a word.
Exactly. That's what makes it such a great phrase. Because broke is still bad grammar. Anyway, the whole end of that fight, you were calling it beautifully, and all I could hear in my head, Grant, was if it isn't broke, if it isn't broke, is it?
It is not broke.
Gonna drive me. I'm gonna.
No, broke's not.
I'm gonna say oregano later in the cast just to trigger you.
Oh, don't say oregano. That really gets me. Guys, we're getting into game 2. Immediately, Eternal Empire will be our second map. We are already in the loading screen. Thank you so much for joining us today. We love every one of you except the guys being mean to us in chat. Don't be mean. We're trying our very hardest. So thank you, 3,500 people. That's like nearly as high as I can count on my fingers and toes. But Pretty Olsen, let's do it.
Let's do it indeed, Grant. Game number 2 here, spawning in the top right-hand side with possibly the best doodad next to his Nexus that I have ever seen. It is our blue Korean Protoss player. can't do it. I can't do it, Grant. It is. It's PartinG.
The dick boy.
Oh, come on. I was trying to be classy there for a moment.
I don't have class in me. I'm English. And in the bottom left-hand side, representing Mouse Sports, he is the red Terran player from Germany. The biggest of Gabes. It's HeRoMaRinE.
Now remember, guys, if you're a big Gabe fan, then don't fret. Even if he loses this game, goes 0-2 against PartinG, it's not the last you've seen of him. It's not like the previous series you may have seen in DreamHack. This is not a best-of-1 bracket. We are currently in the group stages. These are GSL-style groups, and this is just the second series of the day. Right now, we have got TY waiting in the losers bracket, or the losers game, rather, and Time waiting in that winner's match. So this is only the first game for both these players. You have not yet seen the last of either player here in Group B.
Now, getting into this matchup on Eternal Empire, do you know what this map's great for? Blink Stalkers. The cliff around the main is huge. There's a lot of position to blink in and either go south towards the CC or get on top of the production, and I wouldn't be surprised to see PartinG just do the same thing again.
As you said in the last match, Grant, if it is not broke, don't fix it. Yeah, we see. Anyway, we're going to see the second gas going down at 20, a little early for PartinG than normal, but I think you're right. You know, PartinG loves his Blink Stalkers, and they're such a versatile unit to start with. Twilight Council and Blink Stalkers, not just an offensive weapon, but defensively as well. If you see a 2-Rax coming at you, which we don't, but if you see a 2-Rax coming at you, Blink Stalkers can still be a phenomenal choice to blink back, you know, snipe down what the Terran unit has as they come across the map, slow them down a little bit, just frustrate them and bleed a little bit. And we're going to see PartinG choosing his tier 2 tech here very soon. If it's not Blink Stalkers, what else would it be, Grant? What else is PartinG going to go for?
PartinG could still go for a Robo or possibly even a Stargate. I just think Blink is what he is, the Protoss player when it comes to control. He has probably the best PVT control in the world. As Twilight does go down, and there's also a lot of variations of this build. You don't have to go 4-gate Blink and be as aggressive. You can just go for 3-gate Blink into a quicker third, go Robo, and go Colossus. It's definitely interesting to see where PartinG goes with this. For now, he's adding on his second, and we will see 3rd gate pretty quickly. Gabe, my one... Gabe's being very aggro here, but it's already been seen.
My God, PartinG with an amazing scout there. I don't know what triggered him to move that Stalker down south. He didn't really see anything that indicated there was going to be a proxy Stargate, but just a beautiful scouting pattern from PartinG there, catching that proxy starport of HeRoMaRinE. We didn't even have time to talk about how awesome that proxy Stargate was going to be before it was summarily destroyed. Oh, and HeRoMaRinE not happy about this. Look at what he's building back home, going instead for a 3-Rax opener, Grant. What do you think about his decision here to go full aggro?
The problem is it's very late, and Blink Stalkers are really good against unsupported Marines. Like, they're really good. And it is 4-gate Blink here from PartinG. So PartinG's going to have 10 Stalkers hitting within the next minute or so. And what does Gabe have? He's going to have, like, when we get down to it, he's going to have 4 Hellions. They're not great. They were made purely for the dropping purposes. And he's going to have, like, maybe 10 Marines. Stalkers beat those units. PartinG has put himself in a position where things are going to be scary right now for Gabe. But I imagine PartinG's going for a quick fight. I think it's a fake. It's a fake. He's not going to be committing to this. Almost certainly. He'll let it finish, but he's not producing... Oh, he is producing probes.
Yeah, he's still going, man. Well, his natural isn't saturated yet, and he hasn't taken gases 3 and 4. There we go. So gas 3 and 4 do go down. And yeah. Wait, you think...
Okay. So, I'm pretty certain PartinG was building his 4th gate at some point, but he cancelled it. I could be wrong. But I don't think I am. Looking at the resources lost. No, I might be. No, yeah, because it's an uneven number. Something's been cancelled. But I don't know. I could be wrong here. Anyway.
But now that we know, now that we have the information we do know, which is 3 gates are down for PartinG, he does have his 3rd base down. I think that does merit a change in situation. He's definitely not going to go all in, though if he had gone all in, he would have been in a really solid position. So HeRoMaRinE is going to be able to breathe a sigh of relief, seeing that 3rd, and I think HeRoMaRinE suspects maybe what you suspected. He might go back and check this 3rd again just to be certain, because he's be like, wait a minute, this is PartinG. Anything could happen here. But he is going to breathe a sigh of relief. There's still no third for him, but is he just grabbing his... Okay, he's grabbing his fourth gas now, but only on +1. We see the corners that HeRoMaRinE has had to cut here to stay up with PartinG. He's only on 1 engineering bay, only getting +1. His combat shields is going to be a little bit later, going stim and combat shields one after the other instead of concurrently, and a first medevac coming down now. As you said, Grant, his medevac is going to be way behind. Yeah,
we do have HeRoMaRinE has lined up a very small drop moving down across the south now, but it's just a couple of Widow Mines, and PartinG should be aware of that. He has an observer already. He has 3 observers already. Holy moly! One of them is going to see that there was in fact a factory down and that there are those extra racks, so I wouldn't be surprised to see PartinG sit defensively. He's adding on a few gateways. Does he have anything to spot for this? He has an observer just to the south right now of his natural. That is incredible. PartinG knows exactly what could kill him, and he's already prepared for it.
Yep, we see that medevac drop come in. It's funny, HeRoMaRinE left a Hellion here to sort of clear the way in case there was a scouting stalker or something. But he's also got a couple Hellions in the front, so he's just going to try and do the little 1-2 double whammy punch here. The Widow Mine's doing that. PartinG doesn't see it! Oh!
Oh, this is so late.
Wow. Very lucky from PartinG there. The RNG, HeRoMaRinE not controlling those shots very well. He could have gotten so many more probes that the probes lined up against the Nexus as if they were up against the wall for a firing squad. I thought for sure HeRoMaRinE would retarget those Widow Mines and just explodinate about 20 of them. But PartinG getting out very, very lucky there with that Widow Mine shot, not doing a lot of damage. And now HeRoMaRinE, he's angry. He may not look it. He's not green and bulging with muscles yet, but he is pushing across the map.
Yeah, and PartinG's in a good spot still there. He's getting Immortals, which is important. He's got a lot of Blink Stalkers, and he has 4 sentries, so he can really split this army. Now, we haven't seen a robotics bay go down from PartinG, whose tech has remained very, very low. Upgrades will be even, +1/+1 in the next 10-15 seconds. We should see that pop up on our screen about now. Force fields, as we said, going to come in, and PartinG can hold for now. He has a cannon here. Does he have any batteries? But there is a drop in the main right now from the big boy.
Big warp in the main here. We see additional Zealots getting added on, and even though it's already caused the evacuation here, he's warped in more Zealots once the SCVs were gone, which means he's going to be focus firing these Zealots onto key tech structures and things, trying to go for a couple of the reinforcements here, trying to pick off some units here, and HeRoMaRinE really doesn't have any reinforcements back home, which means this drop into PartinG's natural has got to end the game for HeRoMaRinE, or else he's going to lose everything back home.
I just can't see any possibility. Guardian Shield goes up right now for PartinG. He has so many Blink Stalkers. He has Immortals in the fray. There are a couple of Widow Mines sitting behind the mineral line, and they'll be important as PartinG is finally cleaned up. But PartinG's not really lost many workers yet, and it does look like he's in a good spot. He blinks backwards, warping a few more Zealots to tank here, but the Immortals in the front line dishing out so much DPS. These Widow Mines right now standing there just looking at death as they finally go down. PartinG even blinking forward to try and get a medevac, doesn't get it. But PartinG comes out ahead, 10 workers up, continuing to warping aggressively. Finally it goes down, but more Zealots getting more damage, and PartinG... and one thing PartinG doesn't have there is tech. It's an interesting position right now.
You know, that's exactly the right word for it, Grant. An interesting position indeed. I feel like a lot of StarCraft fans, viewers especially, are tempted because we have perfect vision of the game, and it does change the way you think about things. I think it's very easy for us to try and say who won that engagement, who is going to win the game from here. Is this GG? And I think that's not the right way to look at a double drop situation like that. You know, both players kind of lost there. HeRoMaRinE threw away a lot of army for not much damage. PartinG overstayed his welcome with those warped in the extra Zealots, even though the SCVs had already gone out. Didn't get massive damage done either. I think PartinG's still in a really strong position this game, but HeRoMaRinE with a slight upgrade advantage with army supplies ahead, and the income gonna go in the Terran player's favor once those mules are dropped again. This is still anybody's game.
Yeah, force field's important here. Do go down, manage to trap a few Marines, and then our Protoss should back off. He has a very healthy Immortal count, and Immortals are, against this low number of bio, very good. The Marauders will disappear. The Marine count isn't quite high enough in these forward positions to deal with Stalkers and the Immortals. But PartinG wants to defend his 4th base right now. He has Storm about halfway done, so he is in a period of time where this could be a little bit difficult for him. Some of these fights could be scary. But PartinG was a blink that you probably didn't want to take. You see lots of units going down right now. Gabe is up 29 supply as PartinG goes for another Zealot warp in, and producing Liberators now 2 at a time as well, getting his +2. Gabe's in a good position, but he just can't break the Protoss player.
Yeah, and you know, we see some of these corners that HeRoMaRinE has cut early in the game coming back to bite him in the ass. He's only got that one engineering base, so he can only upgrade one at a time, whereas PartinG does have probably enough money to grab that second forge should he want to. Right now, +2 coming down for both players, but PartinG's fourth Nexus is going to hold, and HeRoMaRinE does not have a fourth anywhere in sight yet. We see more run-bys into the third as HeRoMaRinE continues this pressure into the third of PartinG.
Storm is done, but are there any High Templars yet? There are a couple, but they don't have much energy. So Storms aren't going to be coming in for the foreseeable future. We see the Widow Mines doing a lot of damage. There's a... okay, finally a Storm comes in and catches some of the bio and the tanks, but tanks eat that up all day. Sentry will go down and Archon coming in to try and tank right now. Super Battery was used so far away from the fight that it actually had no impact. And that's a bit of right now needs to hold.
Yeah, and that's a bit of a win for HeRoMaRinE. Using that shield battery a bit prematurely, that shield battery overcharge a bit prematurely, is exactly the kind of play that HeRoMaRinE needs to come back into this game. We do see another engagement though as PartinG jumps on top of these tanks. All the tanks siege up in the back though, and these tanks are still going to be alive despite the stormy weather, Grant.
Yeah, the Immortals right now in the front, they are going to go down. You can see the DPS on top of them too high. It looks like Gabe has found his angle, found his position and is going for victory right now. He chases down the rest of the force. This base is going to have to be forfeited. Now, as Liberators join the fray, what is left here for PartinG to deal with them? The zoning potential of these flying units are just so massive. Siege tanks in the air, siege tanks in the ground, and HeRoMaRinE looking to close out game 2.
Man, Liberators are one of those units that are good to start with, and the upgrade just makes them even better. Even without the extended range here, we can see those Liberators going to drive PartinG back, and HeRoMaRinE brings this game back from the jaws of defeat to bring our second series of the day even 1-1 again, Grant.
Yeah, I can't... That game was very, very scrappy, and usually in very scrappy games I would favour PartinG, but HeRoMaRinE sadly looked very strong in that game. He adjusted to PartinG's very intense, strange style. And was willing to move on. So our final map will be Death Aura. Now, in terms of servers, we do go back to NA West, which is better for PartinG. That is, I believe, yeah, that's PartinG server as the highest seed. So we'll be doing that one shortly. Just waiting for our invites, guys. Whilst here, there will be some ads running in between the series, just 60 seconds, so please stick around, don't go anywhere. Here we go, lobby link.
There's the lobby link. I was really worried I'd missed the series and they were going to start without me, but I don't think that's going to be the case. Our admins are doing some hard work in the background to support all of these games, and we couldn't be happier to have them here with us. So game 3, you know, Grant, as you said earlier, HeRoMaRinE read PartinG very well in that game, and that's something we haven't talked about yet. Grant, do you know when the groups were released for DreamHack Masters Summer?
They were released. What day is it today?
Today is Thursday.
I believe it was Monday or Tuesday. They've had a couple of days minimum.
So they've had a couple days, and for a StarCraft player, that is plenty of time. I can guarantee you, as soon as these groups were released, every player sent out whatever their version of the bat symbol is to everyone they knew to say, do you have replays from this player? Can I study them, please? So PartinG and HeRoMaRinE have definitely been looking at each other's replays for a couple days now to prep for these initial matches, and I can't speak to the preparation of a pro player because I'm not one, but I suspect they're going to start by trying to get themselves into that winner's match first and foremost. So they're going to spend most of their time studying the replays of their initial opponent, and then if they have time, looking at the other opponents in the bracket. So I'm sure HeRoMaRinE studying PartinG, but also looking at time in TY and practicing his TVT because he's guaranteed to see a Terran next. And PartinG practicing his TVT as much as he can, trying to get his hands on some HeRoMaRinE games because, you know, I'm not actually sure, Grant, but I'm sure these guys don't face each other too terribly often.
No, I agree. PartinG plays a lot on NA, and Gabe is pretty, you know, he plays ESL weeklies, but he mainly plays ladder practice on stream and things. So I don't think these guys have played too much, especially in recent times. I could be wrong. I always miss things, but we are into map 3. It is Death Aura. What are we going to see in this game? For now, Creighton Olsen, introduce our first player.
Oh, you know what, Grant? I'm going to let you introduce PartinG because I know how much you'll love to introduce PartinG. So hit us with that PartinG introduction. I think you've earned it, Grant.
In the bottom right-hand side of Death Aura, representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming and the clan Dick Boy. He is the Blue Protoss player from South Korea. Choo-choo, mother effers. It's PartinG.
And people say StarCraft is the most mature esport. Come on. Spawning in the top left-hand side in the red from Mouse Sports and Germany. the only European hope in Group B. It is our Red Terran player, HeRoMaRinE. You know, so far, Grant, we have seen really balanced games between these two players. There's been no real early game cheese. You know, HeRoMaRinE trying to get a proxy starport out last game is about the closest we've come to any real early timings, real early aggression. As we said in our first match with Time and TY, a lot of respect on both sides here, not just for the opponent, but for the tournament itself. It's so great to see these players playing out games to the mid game, to the long game, and really showing their chops as the games get more and more complex over time.
Yeah, completely. I'm with you there. It's interesting, and I'm curious how PartinG's going to react this game. In terms of the map, once again, it is a good Blink map. This entire pool is very Blink favourable. We're at that sort of stage where any map with a very large cliff into the main, where you can come from multiple angles, it does favour that Blink play with a Prism. PartinG is going to be starting off with an Adept to deal with that first Reaper, but PartinG is doing something very different, Creighton Elson, because there is a proxy pylon at the 9 o'clock position.
Yeah, to quote Tychus Findlay, hell, it's about time. Dropping a finally proxy starport here on the far 9 o'clock side of the map, and this could be PartinG's way to punch his ticket into that winner's match against Time. HeRoMaRinE has not scouted at all yet. He's only just now sending his Reaper and some Marines across the map, but this Reaper is going to be slowed down by the Marines quite a bit. They are going to catch this Adept, which is really nice. The Adept should die. Oh, actually, with the grenade, not... Okay, the Adept should die. It is going to go down, but that does mean that HeRoMaRinE has the chance to scout this, but I don't think he's going to. I don't think he's going to see this, Grant. This could be huge for PartinG.
The Reaper is moving down toward the better position, but...
No.
He's going to see it.
No.
No, he's not. Okay, no scout just yet. As the Stargate does finish up, we will see one Oracle begin immediately here from PartinG. And my question now is, does he just make one and go? Or does he make a second? Guys, in terms of Twitch chat, during a series between like game 1 and 2 and 2 and 3, there may be a 60-second ad. Not all of you see it. You're not missing anything important, just us chatting shit. So don't worry, we won't make it happen in the game. But we do have to run ads. We have to thank our sponsors. So please just bear with us. It is the cost of free StarCraft.
Literally the cost of free StarCraft. But to answer your question here, PartinG is going to go ahead and move into the main base with just one Oracle. I kind of thought he might wait for 2 to get those single kills, because the Cyclone already out for HeRoMaRinE. He should be able to pull these SCVs off, respond to the Cyclone, but he's not doing that. He's too busy microing his Reaper back home, dropping that Stalker away, and that Oracle is going to get 3 kills before it's chased away. And is he going to get picked off? No, PartinG's just going to get out of there. Man, I forget how much dead space there is on Death Aura. Second Oracle on the way as that first Oracle moves back to the natural.
The Oracle right now is a little bit low in energy, does not have enough to get too much done, but the most important thing right now for PartinG is to keep it alive, because it offers so much utility going forward. Behind this, we can see PartinG is getting his Twilight Council. He's beginning Phoenix production as well, which is fascinating. You don't see that too much from a proxy, and he does have a third base down. PartinG's job right now is to stop Gabe throwing down a third on in its natural position, because see, Gabe hasn't even started a third base yet. PartinG's gone for a very quick one. We do have the Reaper still out there, and it may be able to get the Scout here, as there's only one Stalker. The other 2 moving out of position. Yeah, good Scout here from Gabe to see that that third has gone down.
Interesting note, Grant. We were talking about that second Oracle coming up from PartinG. He actually canceled the second Oracle to go ahead and make that extra... I'm just double-checking all my graphs to make sure I'm not missing anything. He canceled that second Oracle to go into the Phoenix second instead. I think seeing the Cyclone in the main base of HeRoMaRinE might have psyched him out a little bit. He's like, okay, well, I can't do any serious damage. But as you said, a great scout there from HeRoMaRinE. Seeing that third base from PartinG, meaning he can breathe a little bit easier. He's not getting 100% all in just yet. Nice revelation from PartinG there. But the bunker will be salvaged, and HeRoMaRinE going to try and do a little bit of a push here on 28 army supply.
Yeah, and actually PartinG's kept that Phoenix at home. PartinG knows he's played so greedy with a third base at the 4-minute 20 mark that he just needs to not take any damage to drops, and he'll be in an okay position. So that is what that Phoenix is doing. But right now we have a scrap in the middle of the map. PartinG does have the speed zone to his advantage to start things off, but he will just back off as he doesn't have Blink yet. Look at those fast Stalkers.
Oh, man, those zippy zones making the fast stalkers even zippier than usual. And HeRoMaRinE, I think, realizes he can't chase down his prey in one fell swoop. So he's got 2 options now. He can either pick up and do a big drop into the main, or just go home, get his third base started, and try and economize his way out of this. And it looks like he's going to take option... Well, he's going to take option B, certainly. Is he going to go for the drop as well? No, I don't think so. I think he's just going to head home here and maybe get a... third CC going, and I don't know what's HeRoMaRiNE's position to move forward here. Just try and bio your way out of the situation, Grant.
Yeah, I think HeRoMaRiNE's just going to play his game right now. His production is going to be good. The best thing for Gabe right now is he really didn't take much damage. Yeah, so he lost 4 SCVs. That really isn't massive. He can just continue to build up. You can see the third CC is coming down for him. He just wants to power up and beat PartinG in the late game. And I like that approach here. We do see HeRoMaRiNE is going to move in and look to clear out that proxy Stargate that he knows is there. From the beginning of the game, he will now find that and get that one done. Meanwhile, PartinG is moving into Robo, and will be probably adding on a Robotics Bay in not too long to go into Colossus play or Disruptor play.
Nice. Finally snipes that Oracle, which is good. The Oracle, of course, with no revelations available. That means that PartinG, who has cut Observer production, hasn't made a single Observer yet because, of course, that, as you said, that Robo Bay a little bit late, Robo a little bit late, rather. Means that he's going to be a little bit playing blind right now, and he will see these rocks being broken down, but that's the only indication of where HeRoMaRiNE's army is. PartinG in the dark, and that's a scary place for a Protoss to be.
Yeah, he does have these Stalkers, and Blink is done, so he can just sort of take the fight. He's going to try and get the Cyclone and then blink away. Perfect play there from PartinG, because the Cyclone very annoying if there was a Prism. But we do have a drop coming in from Gabe. A couple of Widow Mines in the third base will burrow. One of them actually not exploded just yet. Stasis Trap is taken down, and right now Gabe is pushing. Army supply 20 in favor of the Terran player. He's found a good angle here. He has Medivacs, he has Marauders in the back. Some of the Zealots starting to go down. The Stalker maybe a bit out of position. Even the Phoenix has been pulled right now. 7 workers have gone down to those Widow Mines.
Yeah, that not bad at all. This is one of the things we see a lot of these matches, especially with super high-level players. Widow Mine's down yet again, but they will get sniped down. Something we see a lot in these matches with high-level players is that, of course, they might get the army may go one way or the other. The actual fight may go one way or the other, and it doesn't really matter a whole lot. But whichever player can do economic damage behind the actual engagement that's happening, that's the player who's going to come out on top 9 times out of 10. Even if you lose half your army, if you've taken out 7 pros, evened up the army supply, which is obviously advantageous for the Terran player, you're going to come out the winner of that engagement. HeRoMaRiNE now looking very strong as the army gap continues to grow between these two players. HeRoMaRiNE edging out little victories here and there. The upgrades are fairly even, and HeRoMaRiNE pushing in to the third base of PartinG again.
Yeah, and Gabe leading with his Marauders. Concussive Shell is done, so these Zealots take a long time to connect, and you can see them melting before they get a couple of swipes off. And right now Gabe has so much. The force fields for PartinG are pretty good on the north side, but here in the west you can see there's a big chunk of units starting to take down units. Super Battery is triggered. Storm nearly done there for PartinG, and this is what PartinG needs. He needs to hit the money storms. The supply is so heavily in favor of Gabe right now. PartinG needs to find something to slow this down. Storm's coming in from the north.
Yeah, Gabe fighting a big choke point here. I don't think he realized that the Storm is ready. He sees those Templar and should now know, okay, there are Templar on the map. Storms are available. He's got to be very cautious fighting in. One whiff Storm from PartinG there. HeRoMaRiNE way ahead of this arm. This fight has been going beautifully for HeRoMaRiNE right now. Just picking down PartinG's army little by little, and with no Robo units here to support, this is not going to do a whole lot. The first Archon's finally morphing in, but that's at the cost of Storms that PartinG is simply not going to have. HeRoMaRiNE does eat 1 Storm here, but his south flank is in a beautiful position. I love where HeRoMaRiNE's at right now, Grant. There's no energy on these shield batteries, and even with a good Storm, I think he's got enough Medivacs to weather this.
Yeah, now HeRoMaRiNE's dropping the Widow Mines on top of all of the Stalkers, forcing them to blink away from the fight. There are just so many units right now left for Gabe. Army supply 78 to 18, and HeRoMaRiNE stims forward. He takes down the battery. GG is called, and HeRoMaRiNE takes the series 2-1.